Thank you. Won't tell soul.
Doesn't matter if you do.
Oh, okay. Thought your brother might be rather cross that you'd fed me.
Well, like you said, if you die, it would hinder us.
Yes, it would. But even so,
And
I'm
I
not
see
going
no
to die.
reason to doubt you.
Thank you. Of course, I don't think he intended me to die. I think he just wanted to starve me until I gave him the information he wanted. I don't think he's going to get the pleasure of killing me. If somebody's going to kill me, it's going to be somebody higher than he, I think.
What would it take to kill you?
A lot more than your brother has. There's a reason dragons live for centuries, sir.
Age does not affect us either. Those with the blessings, anyway.
Interesting to know. Did rather affect the poor people they sent to the siege at Karakakul, though, did it not? It seems they were cannon fodder.
They were just vassals, like I said.
Yes, apart from the demoness leader. She was fun. Till she wasn't.
You slew her too.
I didn't do it alone, but yes, we did. She has a one-track mind. Or did.
What do you mean?
I mean, it was easy to fool her. Sending in some in front to distract her, while the rest of us snuck in from the rear. It seems like lightning and fire are not friends to her.
Fire shouldn't have much of an effect, but I don't
We both
suppose
fired.
it depends on the potency.
We both fired at the same time. Maybe it was my lightning that took her down then, but I know that there were people that could wield fire and my lightning breath all at once.
What kind of let me think of the word. I guess the closest would be arcane type magic.
Are you asking what type of magic I use?
I'm just wondering if you possess that sort of magic.
Arcane? Yes, indeed, I can wield arcane magic. I'm lucky in the fact that I can actually wield two types of magic. I'm only proficient in one, of course.
I see.
Does this bother you?
No.
Of course it doesn't. It matters little while I'm in here anyway, so...
Tell me more about your house.
What is it that you want to know, sir?
Just in general, I'm curious.
Oh, okay, well... The dragon blood is passed down the female of my line. There are male lines of dragon, of course, but they're different houses. For the last 300 years, every one of us has had lightning breath instead of fire. My grandmother, now she was a fascinating woman. She refused the hand of several kings, emperors, princes from different lands. One delegate came to her and asked for his prince's hand in marriage, and she refused, and he threatened her. Told her they were going to invade our lands and they would control her by marriage or by force. So she ate him. Sent the ring back to his prince with a note that told him this is what happened when you trifle with dragons. We never heard from him again. I do rather get my spirit from her. But my line, my family, we work with the people. We don't make demands of them. We don't order them to serve. They serve because they want to. They're recompensed and looked after. We built them schools and libraries, places to worship, places to sell their goods. My great-grandmother now. Sorry, sir.
Places to worship, you said?
Yes.
Worship gods?
We would call them the divine, but yes, we do. And the people that aren't dragons that are under us, of course, their religious affairs are their own. We don't seek to conform everybody to one religion. Everyone's free to worship as they wish.
Does that not cause conflict?
Maybe in the beginning it did. I do remember a few stories where different religious factions, I suppose they could be called, the closest word I have in this tongue, I think, would fight with each other, but it soon settled down. Everyone was free to worship as they wished. No one imposed, that's the right word, I think, imposed their will on another. You sought to take away somebody else's freedom, we took away yours. Until you learned your lesson. Close the church. If you want to worship your way, you allow other people to worship theirs.
So, no one god is stronger than the other?
Well, you see, my family have always had a belief that all power comes from the same source. It's how you choose to use it that makes the difference. So it makes no difference to me what name I give a god. It's the energies that I'm pulling to me and the reason that I want them and what I use them for that makes the difference. For example, in this land, I have a shrine to Keto. Just my way of connecting with that divine energy.
Keto.
Yes. Mitra seemed a little too stuffy for my taste.
These are other gods.
Yes. There are several in these lands, I believe. For example, some of the camps that you enslaved up here were worshipping Ymir.
they worship the blood god.
Not anymore, they don't.
Well,
You should check which banners they're flying.
you mean to say that they have renounced Conan?
Oh, yes, there's no Chaos banners in any of the camps now. They're either flying the Bretonian, the Empire, or our freedom flag.
Doesn't seem possible.
Well, I'm sure you can take a trip out and check for yourself and verify I'm not lying to you.
I can't leave the fortress.
Oh, well, that's rather unfortunate, is it not?
It is my duty to stay here.
I understand that, but surely what you do with your free time is your own business.
I don't get free time.
Oh my. They don't allow you time to walk, or to sleep, or to eat in peace?
We eat and rest, yes.
Does it not get rather stuffy cooped up in here all the time?
I can go out onto the battlements if I wish.
Yes. The view from those is quite spectacular.
It'll be even more so soon.
Yes, I will so enjoy watching these walls crumble. Don't think it's possible, after everything you've seen and witnessed in the last week, that we could win this?
You're going against powers that makes your gods look like children.
Yes, but you see, we faced those same powers at our own, did we not? A demon prince, herald.
You faced what we wanted you to face.
No. I faced what you had left. After we decimated your troops at Karakakul. And you were sending the weaker ones to replace them because you had nothing else. Maybe the 300 that you pulled back from the western flank makes a little problem, but it shouldn't be a problem for long.
You're overconfident.
No, I'm well informed.
If you think so.
Well, your voice rather tells me that you're surprised I knew all this, so it's more what I know now, is it not?
I am surprised. I can admit that.
We have ways of getting the information if we need it. I myself have sat on top of your towers.
You managed to scale the walls.
So why would I need to scale the walls? I can fly.
I would have thought the dark energies here would ground you.
Ah, well. Clearly not so. The poison was a little bit of a problem. Poison was a little bit of a problem, but a well-placed mask usually takes care of that.
Poison.
Just remember, we know about the poison, and we know how to counteract it. So it's of no benefit to you to find that information out. Otherwise you would not know it. I learned how to command armies at my father's knee before I could even talk. I know how
can
to
you command armies if you can't talk?
No, I said I learned how to. He was in the council meetings, getting all the strategies and stuff together, and I was sat alongside him. It wasn't until I got older that they decided it wasn't a suitable occupation for a lady, and I was then excluded. My mistake was showing too much interest.
Your people don't allow your females to fight.
It depends on where you're placed in the hierarchy of the family. The firstborn female is trained to fight, of course, because she's going to lead the house. The rest of us are seen as breeding machines for more dragons. But I knew how to bribe the gods. And they taught me to fight. And then I honed my skills
Sounds like
here.
a weakness to me.
What? Learning to fight?
No, not allowing the females to fight.
Well, like I said, the second, third, fourth, fifth, whatever line you are, females were seen as breeding machines and therefore had to be protected because we were where the future generations came from. It's not a case of not allowing us to fight because they don't think we're capable. It's more that we're considered too important to be damaged. I think it's nonsense. If you learn to fight anyway, you're better able to protect yourself and not rely on anyone else.
I agree.
Which is why I bribed the guards to teach me. Started training with a dagger when I was 7 years old.
So you don't fight in your other form. You fight in this one.
Oh, I can fight in both. And there's another strategy. Learning which form is best for what. You've seen the wingless ones that call themselves dragons, have you not? Do they not fight?
I believe we have some in the beast pens here.
And do they fight you?
They fight everything.
Then you've answered your question, sir. I very much doubt the ones here can fly, though. Rather a disadvantage, I find.
No, they cannot fly. I won't even describe them as dragon.
No.
More like
Giant lizards.
lizards.
Indeed. Seems we are like-minded on that subject, sir.
There's nothing wrong with having something in common with your enemy.
No, indeed. If it boils down to it, in all honesty, we'll probably find we have more in common than we don't. You know the biggest clue? Whoever it was gave me that Sir Giles was not really Sir Giles.
Go on.
The names they were calling the other races of this land. Saying they were unworthy. Calling the dwarves stumpy. Which is actually, funnily enough, what I've nicknamed your brother since I seem to stump him every time we talk.
I'd imagine he doesn't take well to that.
I don't remember asking his opinion on the matter, if I'm honest with you. I might not have spent a lot of time with the real Sir Giles, but I knew him well enough. I knew yesterday, the first time he approached me, that something was not correct with him. I just wondered whether he'd been possessed or whether he was in disguise.
Sir Giles is the Bretonian.
He is, yes.
Right. That's how you got yourself trapped.
Did I? If I knew who he was and I still walked through the portal, what does that tell you?
That either you're a fool or you're here for some other purpose.
Now it's your job to work out which, is it not?
Not really.
Well, you're the only one I
up to my
see.
brother.
Ah, but why would we leave that kind of decision to the one of lesser intelligence? He might be stronger than you, sir. I haven't seen either of you fight, so I can't verify that, but you definitely have more brains than he has.
Well, you already know the why.
I do. And it does make sense. I'm just saying, don't feel inferior to him because you're not.
I respect my brother's strength.
You can respect him and still not feel inferior, though, can you not?
It is not our way.
For
Strength
example,
is everything.
Yeah, well, that's where you're going to come undone, though.
It has served us thus far.
Has it, though? You always seem to be skulking in the shadows, trying to get a foothold.
Do we?
Well, look what happened when you made a push in the north. We fought you back, and now we've reclaimed most of it. There's only this fortress left standing that's under your control.
How do you know that we simply haven't allowed you to push us?
Because that would be
Draw you
really bad strategy.
How so?
Why would you give up all your strongholds? Everyone who was fighting with you that would have stopped us marching on the castle and maybe decimated our numbers before we even got here.
Now, you have moved your armies into our land, into our territory, which we know better than you.
Oh, you
You're
think?
at the disadvantage.
You think you know these areas better than I, do you? I,
Maybe
who
not
see them from
myself.
above. Who explore every nook and cranny. And there are more like me. Not just dragon, but others. I knew as soon as we stepped into that grotto today what was going to happen. I didn't expect to be given a choice in the matter, but I knew what was going to happen. Because I know that there's a portal into this castle, in that grotto. Now, how do I know this? Not only was I told it was there, I have seen it for myself.
That portal can be simply closed behind oneself.
Oh, I know. So why wasn't it? Why was it left open when I was exploring up there?
It was left open. When?
Before the earthquake. And one of the first things I did after the earthquake, once we'd clawed our way out from the rubble of it, was fly over here and see whether your castle still stood. How did I get so close? Why did your guards not stop me? I was in dragon form. It's not like I was easy to miss.
You're fortunate I wasn't on duty at that time.
Am I?
Well, I wouldn't have simply allowed you to fly over.
Oh, they tried to stop me. Dragon skin is tough. And a moving target is harder to hit. Few evasive movers, and there I was, sat on top of the roof. Now, granted, you planted thousands of bombs around the place after I'd done so, but what difference do bombs make to me?
I don't know. I can't really answer that.
It would have made more sense to shore up your archers, would it not?
I believe that's what we have done.
And how are we still getting past?
I don't know. The forces should be grounding you and your kind from flying, but
Forces have to be able to hit.